Welcome, everybody, to another beautiful day here in crypto land, where the markets are expressing a little bit of uncertainty. We're going to wait for everyone to pile in here. We have some amazing updates for you today, as well as a big, meaningful, critical update. I know a lot of people here in the live chat are absolutely excited to hear an update about the Highrise Creature Club drop, which we will be covering in depth. So the TLDR here for everyone. We'll wait for everyone to hop up in the chat. We got about 9:34 in here. Appreciate you guys all being here. So I'll talk about literally every issue here. We have, in my opinion, we have a lot to cover. First of all, we have fear and greed is at a fear reading, which is really important. Remember what we talked about emotions in the markets. We're going to come back to that. I see in the live chat, just so everyone knows who might not have been following, we just had the first drop begin here for the Immutable X launchpad on Superfarm. And we have this amazing project, the Highrise Creature Club. And what essentially happened is there were over 2,000 requests to mint the Highrise Creature Club in the first second that this drop went live, which is essentially a third of the whitelist, a third of all of the possible purchases happening in 1 second, which was more load than was initially estimated, considering there was a 3-hour window that was provided for the drop. And so in this particular circumstance, it definitely completely crashed everything. This is in some ways, obviously annoying, but everyone who is supposed to mint on the whitelist will get their chance. The whitelist is being extended 24 hours, so everyone is going to get their chance to mint. But yeah, pretty much here we had over 2,000 mint requests in the first second, which is awesome for the project. As you can see here on the secondary, we're already seeing the floor price here over 20x. For almost 0.9. The original mint price was 0.04. So obviously people are very excited to get their hands on this drop. Everything will be worked out, and everyone who is supposed to be on the whitelist will get a chance to mint over the next 24 hours. We've scaled everything up, all the choke points. To be clear, on a technical level, there is a number of unique things that needed to be done for the Immutable X launchpad that are totally different from the Ethereum mainnet launchpad, which essentially we got surprised by some of the load in certain choke points. We've scaled everything up and we'll be relaunching with absolutely massive overhead in just the next few minutes. So make sure you're watching the EllioTrades Twitter and the Superfarm Twitter, and we will keep you guys updated. Whitelisters, take your time. You'll have 24 hours, okay? Just like you had 3 hours this morning. No need to all rage smash the mint button, okay? You will get your chance. For the people who minted in that first minute when things went crazy but didn't get their item yet, we will follow up with you directly and we'll make sure that you have a chance to get your item, okay? So everyone who minted, who doesn't have their item, will get a chance to get that item, and the mint process will last 24 hours for the whitelist. So no need for mass panic, everyone. This whitelist or this project has already been incredibly, incredibly successful, and Highrise Creature Club is already a crazy successful drop. So everyone, please take a breath, and smashing the mint button all at once is not going to help this go forward. But the goal here going forward is to essentially make it so that this process is way less compacted time-wise, so that everyone has a very leisurely ability to mint their whitelist, and then the public mint starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. So that's the update here on Highrise Creature Club. Once again, big shout out to Highrise and all of you out there for making this drop already. I think one of the most successful on Immutable X, and it certainly looks like it's going to be one for the books here. So make sure you keep your eyes on the EllioTrades Twitter, as well as the make sure you're following this EllioTrades Twitter here. We'll have an update for you in the very near future when we resume the whitelist mint period. So whitelist will last, again, 24 hours instead of 3. We thought 3 would be enough to stop the gas wars and stop people from all piling in at once. I absolutely love you guys. You're super, super punctual. So we got to love a punctual community. Anyway, thank you guys so much for the support. Absolutely madness that this is the first drop. So having, I think it was almost 1 million requests in the first minute. again, it just shows that these launches at the quality that they're at, we're scaling everything up. We definitely learned a little bit from this one, and each drop going forward will be smoother. So thank you guys for this, and we're super flattered to see this level of interest. So big shout out to everyone. We're going to jump into the live stream, and we'll come back and answer some questions about the Immutable X drop in the next few minutes. Let me actually just go ahead and hop into some questions and make sure there's nothing super pressing from you guys. What about hardware wallets? Okay, so the hardware wallets has to do with this being just the first implementation with Immutable X. There are some unique properties there. We weren't able to get hardware wallets working on the short time span. We will get them working within the next few days and weeks, but it just will not be possible for the Highrise drop. So we do apologize to the hardware wallet minters on this one. So people saying they minted 4 Highrise, deducted 0.16, but have only received 2 Highrise NFTs. That could be because you are only supposed to be able to mint 2. So maybe because there was so much load on the site, it took your ETH, but we will not be keeping your ETH. We'll be giving you your ETH back. That was just because the entire site, everything got overloaded. So some of the whitelists and limitations got temporarily bypassed. So anyone who has a discrepancy between the amount of ETH in their wallet and the amount of mints, we will make sure that you have the mints you're supposed to have, or if your ETH got taken, you'll get your ETH back. So do not worry about any ETH or mints missing. That will 100% be made completely whole and completely right within the next few hours. We're going to be working on that. Somebody says, low-key proud to have been able to mint, haven't received it yet, and to be part of this crash. Yeah, hey, look, there's almost every good launch in crypto comes with some hiccup here. This is the beauty of pushing these decentralized systems to their limits. And this is what happens. I mean, this is pretty historic to have 2,000 mints in 1 second. I mean, that is definitely a record. So big shout out to you guys for making this so crazy. Crash the likes. Yes, please crash the likes, everybody here. It's definitely going to be a very fun journey building the absolute premier launch pad in this industry. And of course, even though we estimated a big amount of demand, we weren't estimating that many requests in 1 second. And that's just what happens when we have so much excitement. Things will get worked out, though. I'm very confident. When is reveal? You'll have to hop into the Highrise Discord for that. Okay, I'm going through questions here. I'm seeing some repeat stuff about let's see if there's any new questions. Some people asking to switch their hardware wallets to a different wallet. We can go ahead and ask and review about that. We're focusing right now on all of the tech limitations, making sure it's all smooth. I managed to mint. Thank you, Elliot, for making this happen. You're welcome. Look, I'm extremely, I know it's two emotions. I'm extremely annoyed that things didn't go perfectly smoothly. I'm also extremely happy that Highrise is going to be this just amazing, strong NFT community that's getting birthed on Superfarm. So I'm very proud that such a high quality project is being born here on Superfarm. I am annoyed it wasn't perfect, but perfection is the enemy of good. And this is going to go down as an amazing drop. So there was a couple stray transactions that people are saying. There's a couple stray transactions that were able to mint, but that weren't on the whitelist. This is just a freak occurrence from the load overwhelming certain endpoints and choke points within the process. Again, there is a lot more connections happening on the Immutable X blockchain than on the Ethereum blockchain. The architecture is totally different. So certain particular choke points ended up getting overwhelmed. And so this created some unwanted results. That's why we paused minting. However, going forward, obviously, we're going to be working to make sure that each and every whitelister has their chance. And it certainly looks like everyone will get a chance over the next 20 sort of 3+ hours here. So everyone will have their chance that was on the whitelist, and we'll be putting out a form here for anyone who might have had some weird occurrence, like they minted, but it's not in their wallet. We'll make sure that you guys are completely covered. So that's the update. Let me make sure that there's nothing new coming out of the questions. People saying it's late where you are. Again, time zoning in crypto is part of the game here. Obviously, in a drop like this, where it's already up almost 25x here, you know, I'm not sure what to say, but, you know, for a lot of people, getting through this process seems to be worthwhile. So it's up to you guys whether or not you value your time enough to stay up and wait. But if you're on the whitelist, just know we're going to be extending this for 24 hours. So if it's 4 a.m., get some sleep. Things will be fine when you wake up. You know, there's no gun to your head here. But this is just it's the situation we're dealing with. We have a ton of excitement for a drop, and it's scarce, right? So this is just part of the game. Squinting, you need glasses. I think I do need glasses. I think I do need glasses. My eyes are tired. Okay, cool. Citizen's gonna make it. Yes, Citizen's gonna make it. Okay. I see a lot of repeat questions. I hope everyone got the information you need. Make sure to rewind this and watch it again if there's more information that you guys need. But I believe we answered all of the questions here that I've seen in the chat. If you've already minted and your transaction went through, do not try to repeatedly spam the mint. That's only adding more confusion. So obviously we'll have 24 hours here to work it out. We'll have more updates throughout the day. We'll have constant updates here through the EllioTrades and Superfarm Twitter. So make sure you're following those. Take a deep breath, relax the jaw. All right. Unclench the jaw, breathe in, woosah. It's all going to be okay. I love you guys. Okay, we're going to do some generic, general overall market content here. We're going to come back to the Highrise drop at the end of the video and answer more questions. But everything is going to be okay, guys. It's going to be okay. I promise. Okay. So let's go back in here because the Fear and Greed Index right now is expressing a 33 read. It is not as bad as it has been over the last few days. As we see here, the actual readings have gotten as low as a 21 over the last few days. Now, why am I showing this? I show this a lot of times, but it's almost like clockwork that when things get too fearful in crypto land, we get a massive, massive pump. This is just part of the way that crypto works. I have no idea why essentially crypto just wants to upset people, but as soon as people start having one opinion on the market, whether it's fear or greed, we see this massive, massive push to the other side. We see a massive, massive correction. So whether fear or greed, what's important to realize is that the market likes to upset everyone. So when everyone feels one way, it likes to go the other way. So right now, as we're pushing into the fear territory, this is where things get quite interesting. Remember when we were looking at Crown's TA, essentially showing that this market looks like it wants to be at least remain bullish for several more months, if not into late 2022. That is absolutely pretty amazing because the reality is the longer this bull run goes on, the better it is for everyone. The higher prices Bitcoin can eventually reach without going parabolic. That's going to be the absolute best case scenario. So seeing a 33 read of fear here when Bitcoin is chilling at 57,000, these are nice 5860. This is honestly amazing, right? But if we remember what Crown said in his TA the other day, we really need to reclaim about 61,000. We need to reclaim 61,000 or else this becomes just another higher low, as they say, right? So the way that bull markets go is you end up getting higher highs as it comes up and tests lower. You end up having the low from each move be higher up. But when we start going down, you end up having the high start going down lower. And so higher lows, bad, lower highs, bad, higher lows, good, higher highs, good. So what we're seeing here is that until we really reclaim, the low $60,000 territory, we are still in this kind of downward trajectory for the market. So this could be seen as a relief rally. Now, this is, of course, causing all of this confusion. Now, I personally have a strong feeling of where we're going. It has very big, and I almost tweeted this yesterday, we have big March 2020 energy going on right now with the new variant and the new flu variant. We'll just call it that because we don't want to use the C word. Always my videos get flagged when I use the C word. Not sure why. But anyway, the new flu variant seems to be causing all of this very big panic. And what happened in March of 2020 when this first happened, it almost feels like too good to be true in a way, that this could be sort of what we're looking at, a March 2020 like correction. Because if that's what's going to happen here, and we get some kind of true panic in the markets that sends everything down, we're probably going to see another round of economic stimulation, stimulus, stimmy, money printer go burr, whatever you call it. That's probably what's going to accompany any kind of down move like this in the market. And then, of course, we know what happened after that. It's almost invisible, this down move in the market, because we're so high from it. So if that's what happens again here, it's almost scary. It would almost scare me, the level of bullishness that might be coming to crypto. If this is where we're about to experience another March 2020 event, it's kind of absolutely insane. It's kind of insane, right? This is where I start to get, almost freaked out, because if everything in crypto goes up another, what was this? The total market caps back here was probably like in the hundreds of billions. And now we're in the multi-trillions. So if that happens, yeah, we're pushing up towards that 3 trillion. If this happens again, it's kind of scary, right? Because we might end up at somewhere at a, $20 trillion market cap if we go 10x from here. I mean, I bet the whole market is about 10x from where it started here. I don't have the total market caps here, but I bet we're at a 10x total market cap. And so if we do a 5x from here or something, that's just absolute madness. And we'd be looking at, in the what is that, 11 digit region? No, that's in the billions. We're looking at the trillions. We're looking at we're looking at astronomical values for crypto, which to me would mean that we would probably start experiencing some pretty dramatic inflation impact, as well as we'd start seeing assets just being on this runaway train, which would start to feel quite unstable. So what do I think? Do I think that this is bullish for crypto? Yes, it's bullish for crypto. However, does it also mean that things might be a little scary in the macro economy? Yeah, probably both of those things. But this is why we buy crypto, and this is why we hodl, right? This is why we buy crypto, and this is why we hodl. So right now is a really interesting moment because we're seeing a lot of fear in the market. We're seeing a lot of crypto Twitter get very, very fearful, right? Very, very fearful. And this is what we're going to go through. Now, I do want to point out that the reason why we had such a crushing bear market back in 2018 was largely to do with the fact that nobody thought a bear market was possible. Everyone was so bullish, was so unbelievably, unabatedly bullish that the idea of a bear market was literally offensive to people. I know it was to me. I didn't believe a bear market could come, and that's exactly when they come. Now, this fear that we're seeing in the market is honestly what I like to see, because if it was 100% agreed that we were going higher, then there would be consensus. And usually, remember, the market likes to upset the most amount of people. The market being split like this, where a lot of people are essentially suggesting that a bear market could come, to me, again, shows that the emotional sentiment is split. We're still in fear mode. We're not in full bull, like unabated, gigabull territory where everyone's just 100x long. So that's where, that's where it does help that we're not in that mode. That's where the euphoria feels like it's being curbed a little bit, which is definitely, in my opinion, a very, very strong gift. I quit out of my main article, so I need to get it back up here. Here it is. Okay, so let's go through some of these opinions. We have Ansem here saying, if CT is in this chop, we better not even see another bear market because people are already losing it. LMAO. Relief bounce, in his opinion, I don't think we see new highs on 97% of tickers. So this is one person's opinion saying that they don't think we see new highs for the rest of the year. Now, again, to me, that is not a bad thing, because the reality is if this extends into late 2022, that's going to allow for people to reload, for the market to reset, for things to become less overheated, and for innovation to ship, for more games to come out, for more just maturation of the market. The longer the bull run, the better. That is a simple rule. So to me, I'm looking forward for, December to remember. But it's also a little sad if that's the end, because to be honest, there's a part of me that's just not ready for this bull run to end. There's so many possibilities. There's so many good projects coming out. So the bull run ending essentially makes it a sad place in crypto again. And I'm not looking forward to that. So the longer this goes on, even if we don't get a storybook December, I'm excited, because that means that it'll give people a much longer time horizon on their success here in the industry. So if we go sideways or down the next couple of months, touch 40K, maybe high 30s, I wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't call that a bear market though. Also, when Lights tell you people have de-risked, he's not trying to FUD you to buy your bags lower. They genuinely have. It's useful. I guess Light is a crypto Twitter trader that they're referring to. This also is, again, something that's totally possible. We need to mentally prepare for a slow grind down before a massive grind up. If we look here at the Bitcoin chart, we've kind of seen this repeatedly, right? We saw this if we look at 2020. We had no real parabolic moves here. We had sort of these grinds back up to health here in the beginning of the year, then a little push here up to 12K, a nuke down here back to 10 and 9K. Then we had a slow push. This was the most parabolic moment we had here, was from as we overcame sort of the prior all-time high, we went from about 10K up to 36K, 40K pretty quickly. This was the most parabolic moment we had. And then we had another 50% pump here. And since then, we've just been in this kind of cyclical grind down and back up and now down again. It doesn't feel like the market is super parabolic right now, which is awesome. And that's why when these things happen with Bitcoin, it allows for us to do the great work of finding very, very important trends, like the NFT trend that we helped people make hundreds of X's on, like the gaming trend now that's made absolutely astronomical gains across the entire sector. Literally, if you're holding pretty much any of these gaming coins, you've made a ton of money, especially if you're holding the more low cap gem choices that we've been highlighting here on the channel, and you're probably doing great. So that's what's great about this is even if this continues, there will still be these narratives that completely pop off, and it's a beautiful thing to see. That said, we're still in this. Where are we? Here we go. That said, this could happen, right? We could have a slow sort of extended grind down. You know, you could see this as a sort of extended consolidation, you know, between these highs and these lows. We could be forming some kind of triangular pattern here. Again, I leave the TA to crown, but that would be something that doesn't mean that we're long-term bearish. This could be part of a massive, massive consolidation in the super cycle, right? So to me, again, just to be clear, I'm macro bullish and excited about this market. But it's important to realize that the longer this market goes on, yes, gains will sometimes be put off till next month, but that's also macro very, very good and sustainable. So then we have Suzu, which obviously he's been pissing everyone off with his Twitter. He says 90% of my top signal list that I wrote down in Q1 2019, while it was still fresh in my memory, are now hit. Not interested in calling for clout, calling tops for clout, or having you sell bottoms for psyops. Enough wealth for many lifetimes already. Make sure you own things you believe in, and we're all going to make it. Now, there's actually a few different sentiments kind of packed in here into one tweet. So I wanted to unpack this, which is essentially that he's saying 90% of his top signal list that he wrote down in Q1 2020. So this is another thing, Q1 2019. I think it's really easy to judge a bear market based on prior bear markets. That's like the natural sort of inclination. But things change, right? This market has changed a ton over the last year or two. We're in new normals of money printing, new normals in macroeconomy, and new normals of inflation. This is a very interesting moment we're in, where it's hard to compare things to Q1 2019. However, what he's saying here is make sure you own things you believe in, and we're all going to make it. Now, for me, I've also seen the impact of Axie Infinity during a quote bear market, right? People consider the middle of this year to be a bear market. And a lot of people thought we were going bear. We know that Axie Infinity took off during a bear, and that probably the amount of attention on Axie Infinity wouldn't have taken this much precedence if it wasn't for a macro freeze on the market. So seeing that we got this lurch downwards in May that was accompanied by the Axie never-ending green candle, it makes me extremely excited to see what the gaming sector does during even if a bear market does come. That would be a really, really exciting moment, is to see the proof in the pudding that NFTs within games are highly sought after, and those game economies continue to create token velocity during the tough times. So that's when it's super exciting. Again, that's part of what's so exciting about, why everyone rushed into this now 0.9 Highrise Creature Club drop. And the reason is because people are excited about NFTs within digital worlds and games. So we'll be circling back to this and giving you guys an update at the end of the episode. But this is, in my opinion, really important dynamics to be tracking, which is that the top signal list that we wrote down before this bull run began are probably not as relevant. And that personally, if you're holding the good coins, we know that cryptos, where was this tweet? Yes. So he says, I think this is in response to the Zhu Su tweet. Let me make sure it is, because it seems like it is. Well, okay, it is in response. Anyway, so Muni says 400% of my top signals were hit last year and we still went up. I can't read anything anymore. I just think if you hold good coins, you're okay. Crypto isn't going anywhere. Might be a fad territory like in the Bear years. Yes, this is exactly it. We know crypto is eating the internet. We know Web3 is eating Web2. We know gaming is eating the internet. We know crypto is eating gaming. All of these things hold true. So any of these sort of short-term price actions, like when we get these fear readings, in my opinion, these present opportunities. Long-term, all of this stuff will look like small potatoes. I mean, we only have a few million people using crypto. Remember that. We only have a few million people using what is quite clearly the future of the internet. So it's not a question of if, it's a question of when and how, and making sure that you're in things that you have conviction in, right? But to me, again, I always look at the fear as a big gift. It's one of my biggest, if not my biggest, sort of indicator on when things are looking like good opportunities. Of course, when we look here, Axie Infinity is literally hundreds of X's up. We're seeing most of the gaming cryptos up tremendously still, even with the slides in the market. So it's not like things are low in value. Everything can come back down to earth a bit, but it's important to realize that gaming cryptos are still holding really, really strong. Like looking at Sandbox, I mean, I think Sandbox, wow, it's number 38 now. That's amazing. Sandbox here is, you know, obviously it peaked at 840, but it's absolutely crushing it, right? Certainly not in a major dip. We had this dip down to $6, got bought up real quick. So seeing this consolidate for the next few weeks and then potentially break out to be higher wouldn't surprise me. So again, gaming cryptos to me are the obvious haven here. We'll see how they perform if things go lower. But in my opinion, this gift in the market is the fear. You got to love the fear. Again, ZK-Rollups are the big next trend that I'm looking at. It seems like everyone's very excited for them. And we're definitely going to be keeping you up to date on these new trends. Today, though, is just a general episode just to show you guys that there is so many people freaking out in the market. And usually when this happens, it means that the market is ready to move higher. I know that sounds weird. It's just the way it is. What else should we cover here? Rex Capital, again, just saying we're less off our highs than the September retrace. Again, I think everyone's pretty well aligned. Yeah, we're just getting over leveraged again. That's the point of this. We're seeing that a lot of leverage is coming into the ecosystem. Now, whenever we see people get leveraged long, I've talked about this a lot, it creates sort of spikes down. So essentially what Byzantine General is saying is CT got bullish at resistance, meaning that people tried to leverage long at resistance. And he's hoping that we can sustain neutral funding for even one day. Again, it seems like people are getting quite greedy. The greed in the market needs to be washed out a bit for us to go higher. It feels like just the same, right? This is the same market that we've been experiencing all for the last few months, which is when people get too greedy, we end up getting lurched down, people get fearful again, and then we, grind our way back up. It's like this weird natural symbiotic relationship between people's greed and the market kind of washing each other out. The main thing is that if you learn to sort of sit in spot and hold good things, hold good coins and strong narratives, everything seems to go your way. And that's what's been happening with gaming coins, with strong NFT projects, with the DeFi gems that we covered all through last year. This is the strategy that I found that is most successful. Now, of course, Crown is a legend and has trained many a person to trade within these markets. If you guys want to learn to truly trade, please take Crown's courses. He's an absolute legend with this stuff. So we also have MicroStrategy buying another $400 million of Bitcoin. I think they're going to own all the Bitcoin at one point. So pretty cool. Pretty cool to have someone who's just as bullish as that. Again, if you guys were checking your own biases, wondering if you were bullish enough, we have Michael Saylor here, who's taken probably, I think, the riskiest position of anyone as a public founder in history. Essentially, if Bitcoin nukes, Michael Saylor nukes with it, but he's just going to keep buying. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It really does feel in some ways as though the bull run is indestructible at a certain level when we have buyers like this. So this one is quite interesting. I believe Will posted this. I believe Will Clemente posted this. Yeah, so this is where we got this bounce right here off of the short time holder on-chain cost basis. So you have this pink line here. On-chain metrics have really been our sort of guiding light throughout the last few months. They've really helped us keep our cool in times when things look bearish. And what we're seeing is essentially during a bear market, this kind of governs the bear market as the bulls can't get above this. Let me see if I can open this image in a new tab. Okay, perfect. During a bear market, as you can see, we get rejected by this pink line, right? But during a bull market, once we break above it, we actually bounce off of it. And so as you can see, we've bounced off of it a few times in this recent run here at the end of 2020. And now you can see we bounced off of it again here. I think it was September. And now we can see we're bouncing off of it again. You can't see that, but we did bounce off of it. So again, what we're seeing here is that this short-term holder on-chain cost basis pink line here is showing that as we bounce off of this, it shows that we're still in a bull market. As you can see, we completely collapsed through it in May, but we seem to be trending off of it. And when we trended off of it last time in September of 2020, we got that massive move from 10K all the way up to pretty much 60K. So these are showing similar vibes, similar energies, similar sort of precursors here. Again, on-chain is a statistics game, but it does feel quite likely here that we are expressing some bull market support based on this metric. Very, very interesting to take in. Again, on-chain I found to be absolutely incredible this year. We also have TechDev saying there have been 6 major BTC impulses since the 2-week RVI was charted from 2011. It's caught the top of every one, even the rounded one in April. Every full cycle has had 2 peaks. This cycle has had 1. Probability-based conclusion equals this cycle's second major impulse has not topped yet. So again, just showing more data points that might suggest a lengthening bull market. You guys know how I feel about this stuff, which is that we for sure are looking at a lengthening bull market. Let me go ahead and get this image bigger so you guys can see it. Oh no. Essentially what he's showing here is that we should be seeing some kind of impulse peak here, which is the RVI. You can see this oscillator down at the bottom of the screen. It hasn't peaked twice. Every other bull run has peaked twice. We see 1-2 in 2013, 1-2 in 2017. And we got our first, but not our second here in 2021. So this could either happen. It looks like he's circling sometime in December or January. Again, the longer, the better, in my opinion. But again, this would show somewhere in the $200,000 range. I don't know how scientific the actual price charting is, but the point is we haven't seen our second peak yet. Again, more food for thought. Okay, let's get excited also for some layer 2 immutable, not immutable. This is what Immutable X is built on, but Starkware, some ZK-Rollup technology here. This is also what powers Immutable X, which is why we're so excited about Immutable X. And as Paulina, and I think someone was making fun of me because I pronounced this wrong, says the StarkNet is the most advanced smart contract platform ever committed to production. No, rather it will be. This is alpha for a reason at the very bleeding edge of blockchain tech. There will be missing features, centralized training wheels, bugs, etc. But we're making a giant leap. So essentially, this is the beginning of the Starkware Alpha, which is one of the most advanced ZK rollup chains we've seen. We pretty much have Starkware and ZK Sync. That's like all we really have, right? And so this is a massive, massive moment for ZK rollups. Remember, I told you all that ZK rollups are the mega trend, and most likely things like Starkware will eventually airdrop a token to the people using them. So getting in there and testing the softwares and playing with them with as many wallets as possible is a pro tip here, because this could be one of the most blue chip, most important scaling solutions for Ethereum. This is important stuff to realize. So big shout out to Starkware for pushing their alpha, please bear in mind, this is new stuff. Just like with Immutable X, everything is a fetus. It's brand new, and it's allowing for this incredibly, incredibly useful user experience increase of zero gas, protected by the security of Ethereum. So having your ETH and eating it too. Again, Rome wasn't built in a day. There's going to be hiccups, just like we had a little hiccup this morning with the Superfarm Immutable X Launchpad, but these things get smoothed out, and the result is tech that works at scale. It's a beautiful, beautiful process. And so you guys are experiencing it. And this is part of the yin yang of being early, is that nothing is perfect at the beginning, but in crypto, it pays to be early. That's the beautiful part. We also have Uniswap coming to Polygon. Interesting stuff. And then we have Mark Cuban here defending different crypto, different dApps, and different use cases for crypto. Love to see it, as Mark Cuban famously, as you can see on my channel, one of my most viewed videos was about how Mark Cuban and the Shark Tank and Mr. Wonderful and Bill Gates were essentially bearish on crypto publicly, but I predicted that they would flip bullish. That was back in 2019. We also got Jack stepping down as the CEO of Twitter. So, some people didn't like Jack because of the censorship. I think it's pretty clear at this point, Jack's a pretty visionary founder. So big little golf clap, big round of applause for Jack as Twitter CEO. I mean, it's hard to deny that Twitter has been a core part of the crypto and altcoin culture, NFT culture, now allowing for Bitcoin payments and NFT verification on your PFPs. It feels like Twitter has been one of the biggest advocates of crypto as a movement, and that all happened under Jack. So to me, he's a great CEO, and we'll miss him. We'll miss him. All right. Alrighty. Time to hop back in here to some questions and answers. Somebody says, JRNY Crypto announced earlier in Discord that he's partnered with your company to produce the first NFT set that JRNY club holders will get for free. Is this true? Yes, we have been working with JRNY. I've made myself available to JRNY on the NFT side of things for a few months now. He's a very, very creative guy, and he's got his own vision for where things are going. And we have been working on some stuff together. The actual ETAs and what they'll be and all that stuff is forthcoming. But the answer is yes. Lots of collaboration between this channel and JRNY, and between his NFTs, and wherever we can lend support, we do lend support. We have a lot of infrastructure and a lot of support for NFT creators across the board, from execution to technology to just consulting. So we like to make sure that everyone succeeds as much as possible. And JRNY is also a buddy of mine personally. So my goal is absolutely to, in the ways that I can help him succeed more, I plan to. Let me go ahead and hop into Streamlabs here. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and take some questions, Q&A, before we hop back into any particular updates. Somebody says, I have IMX connected to MetaMask with some address connected with Whitelist and Superfarm, and funds sitting in IMX. Am I doing this right? Yes, you are doing this right, AJ Andres. So the only wrinkle was hardware wallets were not able to be integrated for this drop. But as long as you're not using a hardware wallet, you're doing it exactly right. This is what you do. You use that tutorial I put up yesterday to put funds in your Immutable X wallet, and then you just go through the normal buy process on Superfarm, and you should be able to get your access to your drop. Again, minting is currently paused until we put an update out, which we will be putting out very, very shortly. And so as soon as that update comes out, you'll be able to start minting again. To be clear, I'll just go ahead and show this again. We had over 2,000 mint requests in the first second. That would have been, I think, 4,000 mints in 1 second. So this just overloaded a few different choke points within the infrastructure here. We were definitely prepared for a huge rush. This just slightly overshot what we could process by a very small margin. We've since gotten on with every single point in the funnel here. Again, the layer 2 infrastructure is totally different than layer 1. This is part of the growth into scalable technology. And you guys are experiencing it live, but everyone who is supposed to be able to mint will get their chance. And of course, the public mint, which I believe will still have some NFTs left over. So if you weren't part of this whitelist, I think you're going to miss this whitelist opportunity. Just know the public mint will still probably have some NFTs left over. And so that'll go live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, that will be a bit of a race, but we have scaled a lot of things up to handle the load. So we believe we can handle it starting tomorrow. Again, already crazy because the secondary market for this drop has already gone absolutely crazy. So get back here. What are my thoughts on watch to earn phenomenon in crypto, where you get paid in fan tokens to watch your fave YouTubers through a plugin? That's a very interesting question. I'm a big believer that all of our, okay, so let's break down a few things here. This is a really good question. The biggest business model in the modern era of the internet is attention, right? We see this with Facebook. We see this pretty much all social media. We see that your attention is worth a tremendous amount of money because you can serve ads and you can sort of get people's attention and drive people certain directions. So we see that the biggest businesses are focused around consuming your attention. So your attention actually has value, literal value. So whether you're playing a game, play to earn, or whether you're watching something, watch to earn, whether you're watching ads where the advertisers will actually pay you directly instead of paying, like, for example, Facebook to serve you an ad, wouldn't it make more sense if you could just pay the end user and say, well, why don't I just pay the user to watch this ad? And then the user's excited to watch the ad, has opted in to the advertisement and is making money from it. I think that those models make a ton of sense. It's what sort of Brave and the Bat browser were built on. So I believe those models will make a ton of sense. Exactly how they go into effect is yet to be seen, but we're going to see everything from loyalty points to literally your time being monetized with everything you look at, watch, and engage with, and especially playing video games, because playing video games are the biggest digital economies in the world right now. When Discord for EllioTrades NFT holders, please. Let's actually get that up pretty soon. It's already all set up. We were just waiting to fire it out. I've been so focused on getting the IMX Launchpad out, and then soon the NFT full marketplace for Super Farm, as well as the video game. And so there's just been so much going on that doing the content, that starting another Discord got pushed off a little bit. But that's actually a good point. I should get it all set up. I'll go ahead and send a message to my team right now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get that set up soon. Let's get Discord up and running. There you go. You see, real impact, immediate impact. Okay, we got some super chats. Okay, someone just super chatted a specific social project. Thank you for that. I'll check it out. Somebody says, will unopened vault plus item holders ever have a chance? Becker stated today that anyone without a full set is a flipper and will be punished as long as, but those of us who played Kong to mint vaults are not flippers. Yeah, so look, the reality of it is that there's going to be, obviously preference to people with full sets. I don't want to say anything that's too, that reveals too much of it, but just know that full setters will definitely be in a place where they have an advantage. There's a reason. If you look at the number of identities and the number of vault cards and the number of land deeds and the number of item caches, there's a reason why those numbers don't exactly add up. And if you're really smart, you'll figure it out. But the reality is that full sets get preference. Full sets are the holy grail, and optimizing for full sets is really important. But obviously, if you just played Kong to get a vault card, you're not a flipper, right? But you're also not a full set holder. The reality is, I know I need to make t-shirts that say the reality is. All right. Thoughts on... Yeah, I'm just getting a lot of random shills. You know, some of these things I would want some time to look into, so I don't want to just read them out. I see a lot of times whenever I have anything up next to me on the screen, people just take those clips, put them on Twitter, and then say Ellio's covering this or that, and it's sometimes it can be a bit tiresome. It can be a bit tiresome. Also, Glassnode just put out this report that I found really, really insightful. It says this week on chain. It's really, really a cool report. Check it out. And essentially, they go over all the on-chain metrics that are sort of having an effect on the price. I found on-chain sort of analysis to be some of the most important in the entire industry. So definitely check out this report. It's too long for me to go through now, but it's definitely a huge, huge asset. People saying when Imposters, extremely soon. I'm really, really, really excited for Imposters. You know, the gameplay loop is really tight. We're having to kick our alpha testers out of the game. And we believe that Imposters represents the beginning of a focus on a genre that is going to be the most important genre in the next era of gaming. And we believe it's the best product within the genre. So while it's not trying to be Call of Duty, we see there's a big issue with the fact that Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and some of these games represent the sort of real pinnacle of gaming in their categories, and the little micro feel differences with how things literally look and feel and react, if they're not perfect, we worry that gamer audiences are not going to sort of stay in them and that they're not going to sort of achieve mainstream adoption. We believe that the biggest step forward for blockchain gaming is going to be having games that are better than their non-crypto counterparts and add the play to earn. We think that that's the sort of lethal mixture. So that's the goal of Imposters, is to be the absolute best social gaming ecosystem, to be better than the existing counterparts in the market, and to have the play to earn and crypto economics. Those are sort of the holy grail that we're looking forward to. We'll definitely have the trailer out to you guys very soon. We've been tweaking the trailer, making these final updates. It's really important that the first impressions for this game hit the right way, and that's why there's been a lot of patience. Obviously, the market has been demanding, hey, just get it out, just show something, just push it out. But, you know, I'm not a big believer in rushing or reacting to the market. I'm a big believer in planning products that actually can meaningfully impact the world. That's the goal. And I think that that's the big difference that you'll see, is that a lot of projects are rushing out right now to sort of hop on the metaverse hype, to hop on the gaming hype. And there will be a pretty clear distinction between those sort of aggressive sort of, I guess, cash grabs is one way to put it, and the teams that are really looking to build meaningful innovation in the gaming space. The teams that are meaningfully innovating, those teams will be rewarded long term, I believe. Somebody asked a really interesting question here. Let's see if I can find this. I would like to bring this question up on screen. All right, Ron or Chuck91 says, hey, Elliot, appreciate everything that you're doing. What do you think is better, to rent a comfy apartment and move to another year, or to buy it? Now, this is a question, obviously, that's highly personal. Some people might be sitting on a ton of money, and they would want to store that money in an asset like a house. The reality is that with the amount of sort of yield farming opportunities and upside potential in the market, I think it makes more sense for a lot of people to rent something comfortable and to keep as much sort of active money in the market as possible. We're in sort of an unprecedented bubble-like investment climate where, you know, having another year of this for a lot of people might 10, 20, 50x their opportunities, whereas taking out maybe 30, 40% of their capital to buy a house, maybe that would set them back significantly if they were to fast forward and have just waited a year. Again, there was some low risk stuff you can do by yield farming. So you're not taking directional risk on the market. And that way, if you're actually taking, say, you have your total treasury and you're farming with 90% of it or farming with 80% of it, then you could actually make 20% on that money or more by yield farming it with very little risk. And then you'd be sort of looking at a much bigger amount of money that you could have to buy the house in a year or two, right? And so that's kind of the way I see it. Is I think a lot of people are sitting on more money than they've ever had if you've been in this bull run for a while. And you might be thinking about buying a house. I do think that jumping immediately into putting all your assets into a house, it might be premature, right? I personally will be looking before I buy any really big pieces of physical property over the next bit. I'll probably be doing this strategy where I look to yield farm and I look to get more upside, and I look to sort of make my money work for myself a lot more. And then after that, I can look to buy a house and sort of take a big chunk of my money out. So I've been actually sort of grappling with the same question. Mustachio es muy bueno. Thank you, Nemo. Thank you. Somebody says his girlfriend loved it, so he keeps it. Good man. Yeah, look, hey, this wasn't I wasn't born with this look, you know? I need advice from my lady. See, a lot of people are asking about the hardware wallet thing. Again, as soon as I get off, I'll go ahead and ask what's possible. I believe that the hardware wallet is a limitation currently that we can't get over today, but the switching of the hardware wallets is something that I'll bring up. Again, switching up the whitelist is something that we typically lean against because it creates sometimes more questions than answers. But again, we're trying to make everybody the most happy with this. We got an absolute historic amount of demand here. Like we said, 2,000 mints within a second, the first second of activity. Maybe in the first minute, that would have been one thing. At first minute, we would have been cozy. We actually got almost 1 million requests within the first minute. And we had over 2,000 within the first second. So crazy. So I appreciate all you guys. This is not going to stop, right? We're going to have the most successful, biggest, most important launches on Super Farm in partnership with Immutable X. We're not stopping. However, this is part of the growing pains. And so we appreciate you guys rocking with us. We're going to make sure everyone gets their items. Again, the secondary is already going ballistic here, up to 0.68 here. So crazy stuff. Do I think DeFi will pump again? Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, we called the spell. We've been calling out DeFi innovation, right? It's not just as simple as like, hey, we have a lending pool, let's go gigapump. We've been calling out the DeFi innovation that makes the most sense for us. And so, we believe we're very long that space, right? We're very long the DeFi space. But then you need things like Spell, Abracadabra money, Magic Internet money. You need innovations on it. Then we saw now with Geist and Blizz. There's definitely stuff going on in AVAX that's interesting. But it's important to realize, you saw Ohm and that DeFi world started to explode. So it's important to realize that like DeFi innovation is coming in waves, but it's not just like, hey, I'm going to just like buy Aave and I'm going to go gigapump. No, it's going to be much more like Gen 2, Gen 3 DeFi protocols that seem to be taking the big gains. So, otherwise you should be looking to use DeFi to yield farm, less speculate on it. Thoughts on UFO? I mean, UFO has just been an absolute monster. Is it still in the top? Yeah, it's always in the top suggested. It's been an absolute monster, guys. Absolute monster. Look at this chart. I mean, look at this chart. Very few charts look like this. It's just completely parabolic, and then it just bull flags, and it goes parabolic again, and then it bull flags, and it goes parabolic again. So obviously people are, we got the whole squad here into UFO at like 100 here. And so we went from 100 up to 5,300. What was the all-time high? All-time high was 55.69. So that's 55.6x. So yeah, lots of X's here. I know a lot of people said in the chat, UFO is their biggest gainer in history. Again, we preach taking profits. So, anyone who's watching this channel, I think you guys were the first ones into UFO. So if you guys are in this channel know that other people might be taking profits following the strategy. Nothing wrong with that. But we can see here that it's not coming down all the way down to this peak of 2960. It's staying rather high. It's staying above 4,000. So we're seeing, pretty healthy price action on UFO, if you ask me. We want a 10x gem. The 10x gem is you, architect. You're the 10x gem. Believe it. Freeway token. This was an early gem within the ecosystem here. Freeway token is part of the Albit network. They've been pumping really, really, really hard. Actually, yeah, they've been pumping pretty hard here. We found them when they were a wee baby at the beginning of their life. Where was it? I don't even know if this chart goes, but oh yeah, it does. So we found Albit down here, and we covered it, and then it went ballistic, and then ballistic. Hey, look, the chart looks good. Looks good to me. It looks like it wants to go a little higher. Hide current comment. Okay, it looks like it wants to figure out how to get past this. I was a pre-sale investor in Albit. They've got some interesting programs here. I haven't checked in on them in a while, but they've been, shipping some pretty interesting DeFi stuff. They have a ton of supercharged. They have like some interesting centralized yield farming that they do. Again, just really high APYs. So I'm not sure what's causing this exact pump, but I know they've had some news. Yes, I did put everyone onto ICE. I put everyone onto Spell. You're welcome. Akash is one of my favorites. It's actually AKT. This isn't the ticker for it. AKT. Let's see what's up with Akash. I haven't seen them so long. Nice. So it's still consolidating. Look, whenever this decentralized cloud narrative comes back, I think Akash is going to be a main target for growth. To me, they're a fantastic project. I believe in this team long term, so I'm not in a rush. But yeah, it looks like it's the price has left something to be desired. I don't know. This might be an opportunity here. Again, the Web3 narrative sort of has been a little fickle as far as actual decentralized compute and stuff. Somebody's asking what I think about the SHIB game. I have to check it out. Somebody's asking if there's a way to bridge super cheaper. I don't know about that. Probably the easiest way is just to buy on the other chain, is to just sell and buy. I don't know. Or just buy on the other chain. Big shout out to Nigeria, all my people in Nigeria. Shout out. Thanks for the love. Someone's asking why there are 6,000 whitelisted for Highrise. The reason for this is that this is a new infrastructure on Immutable X. And that we just estimated that of all the people whitelisted, there would probably be at least 20% of people that didn't, do what was required to bridge funds over, that, slept through their alarms, that just didn't realize what needed to be done for Immutable X, got lazy. This is pretty common even on ETH mainnet. And so to add in the extra variable of Ethereum layer 2 and a new chain with Immutable X, we just wanted to oversubscribe the whitelist so it had the highest chance of selling out. And that was a decision made between Superfarm and Highrise. I actually advised to slightly oversubscribe the whitelist because I thought that, a 10% to 20% drop off would be pretty normal. Again, the big opportunity to sweep up those leftovers will be during the public mint. But we don't know, right? We don't know what the actual user behavior will be. And unfortunately, because we got hit with so much traffic in the first second, we ended up getting a little bit of a clog that we're overcoming now. So thank you all for rocking with us. Again, this kind of demand is something that only happens with the most elite, most important drops here in the industry. So very excited. Again, I'm proud of the turnout. but also annoyed it wasn't perfect. But this is part of the growing pains here. We're going to get it all worked out. What do I think of SLP? Is it undervalued? Neo Tokyo News coming soon. I mean, Neo Tokyo News, if you guys haven't heard from us in a bit, we're working hard behind the scenes. Alex and I have pretty much just like, we're just so excited for what comes next with Neo Tokyo. And, you know, we believe that it is the most important experiment so far in NFT land. And so there's a lot coming there. Again, you know, the games never end. So just know that the games never end, and it's an especially fun project to be running because of the element of surprise that it maintains with the community. Sin City, baby. Sin City indeed. Now, bear in mind, Sin City is going to be a very hyped launch. So if you guys don't get into the pre-sale, don't FOMO, buy dips, wait for corrections and crashes as they always come. Metagods. Yes, I'm investing. I'm investing in Metagods. I don't know too much except it's like a pixely Diablo. The team came really highly recommended. I'm investing. Can't say much beyond that. I haven't played the game yet. Sidus looks really good. Sidus looks really, really good. So somebody said, what are your expectations for Highrise creatures? Will they only be wearable NFTs, or will there possibly be more in store? As I understand, there's going to be a like dedicated space for those NFTs. Highrise also has like a really healthy secondary market for their NFT, for their in-game items already, and they're not NFTs. So, you know, the thought is obviously collector's item, some special utility access, and then eventually I believe they're planning, you know, I probably shouldn't say anything ahead of time because it's not my project, but I believe there are plans for play to earn. I don't want to jump ahead of this, but if I were to guess, I would say that those NFT holders would be in pole position for things like play to earn or potential fee sharing or a utility token in the future. I'm blown away with Phantom Galaxies. Me as well. Me as well. It looks really good. That's another project from Yatsu and Animoca. Shout out to everyone rocking with the live. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thoughts on Joe? I'm holding my Joes. Wonderland, I haven't checked in on a while, but it's Daniele, so, you know. Yeah, somebody's saying NFT join highrise.com is a scam. Why scam? Because the real website is nft.joinhighrise. So if you're at this website, it's legit. If you're at the other one, it's probably not legit, right? And so you just need to understand that people will take like this URL and they'll try to do nftjoinhighrise.com. And that might be the scam site. So wherever you are in crypto, you need to understand, especially around these hyped launches, everyone's always trying to scam, trying to take advantage of people because crypto has money move instantly across the internet. So you always got to be very, very careful that you're using official links, double checking everything and making sure that you're at the right place. So we all know that we're minting on Superfarm, not Highrise. So anything that's not minting directly on Superfarm is not the legit way to go. All right, everyone. I see a lot of circular questions. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone here. We're definitely going to be doing a big update here later in the day. So all you Highrise Creature Club aspiring minters, please watch my Twitter and the Highrise Twitter for the next few hours. We'll have updates. I think over the next 30 to 45 minutes, we should have some really solid updates and everything made very clear. To everyone who is potentially just excited for these next few weeks in crypto land, again, I get most excited when the market gets a little choppy because I find that that's when the best opportunities emerge. The less people focused on just unending bullishness in the market, the better for all of us, right? Because it gives us all a moment to think, size up opportunities, do due diligence, and it just doesn't become just sort of throwing coins in every direction to get in on these opportunities. So a cool off in the market to me is not a bad thing. We've been on a crazy run since August, getting back from about $30,000 Bitcoin all the way up to almost $70,000. And then we've seen ETH rise. We've seen all the alts go crazy. We've seen the gaming run. We've seen the NFT run. And we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. To me, this is healthy as we refuel our jets to go higher. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, smash that like button. Remember to subscribe with that bell notification on, as we'll be coming with some amazing and timely, very, very timely coverage. Just like we blew the lid off this ZK-Rollup movement, we're going to be giving you the most important up-to-date information in that movement, in gaming, in metaverse. We're going to make sure that this is your one-stop shop for absolutely every project of significance that I believe has tremendous upside for the audience. So make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification on. As always, I'm EllioTrades. You can find me on Twitter at EllioTrades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.